Let me ask you a question. What do you need to die to in order to become the best version of who you are today? It's really easy for me to frame this in the context of your patient, but when I ask you the question, it gets a little bit more difficult, doesn't it? When we hit the point of transformation, we hit this little crux called rebirth, and they now become a different individual. How many of you guys have had someone come into your business or your practice? They came in, they had a really hard story. They're on an adventure to solve the issue. You came along and said, I got you. Let me show you the way. But in order to do that, you've got to change some things in your life, right? And I need you to stop doing X in order to do Y. And if you trust me, we'll get to the point of transformation, which will actually create you into a completely new person. This is the process of transformation. So I want you guys to think about this in the context for yourself, but I also want you to think about it in context of the people that you serve. People pay the most amount of money for transformation. If you say, I'm going to take you from pain to pleasure, that's all that people care about. They want to get out of pain into pleasure. No one cares how they get there. They just got to know that you know where the hell you're going and that you know what you're doing. The best marketing strategy that you will ever have in your business is to care. So another one you probably should write down. The best marketing strategy that you can have is to care. When you invite people into transformation, it is an invitation. So transformation has two things, an invitation and a challenge. My favorite thing to do to people is to say, you have two options. Option number one is you can stay right where you're at. No problem with that, that's what most people do. Option number two is to go all in and finally solve the problem, finally achieve what you're looking to achieve, whatever it is in whatever context. I'm willing to bet that you're the type of person who's just really ready to make the next step. 95% close rate on that, okay? Invitation and challenge. That's just like the last step that's required. Now, the beautiful thing is the rebirth. They turn into a new person. Look at your process. Are people being reborn into someone different? Or if you're just getting started and you're thinking about, who do I want to serve? What person, what individual? And what's going to happen at that finish line? If it looks no different than their life did before, you suck. Because at the end of the day, right, the only thing that's required for rebirth is accountability. You know why people don't buy courses anymore and they'd rather do experiences like this? Is because it's become so dirty that they're like, I'm gonna pay $3,000 for a bunch of information and YouTube videos? And no one's gonna like hold me accountable and like make sure that I'm successful? That's the only thing that's required. So in that transition point, you give them an invitation, you give them a challenge, let them follow your process, and please make sure that you keep tabs on them in the process of their own transformation into a new person. Whether it's a weekly check-in, it doesn't have to be like where you own the process, but accountability is required for rebirth. It's just how it goes.